Hello there, my name is Bruce Rain from Brankus Creations, and my goodness, this could be a mess. I'm just letting everyone know in advance for the 4 people who are watching. Hello to Thomas, you are the first person to go into the chat. Very weird time for me to live streaming. Now, first of all, audio and picture okay. Things are a little bit weird. So this is the first live stream I've done. Ryan Joffrey, hello. Jack68K, hello. This is the first live stream I've done since making some fairly significant changes around here, namely a new operating system on my live streaming Mac. And that involved a complete erase of the hard drives. So a lot of my settings have kind of changed. The picture is kind of dark. Okay, so let's see if we can't sort that out then, shall we? We've got this. We are going to try and sort this out because we are professionals. Now, I've got a sneaking suspicion that I'm going to have... where'd the thing go? Can anyone tell me where the thing went? Ah, here it is. I moved it. All right, so let's... How about that for dark? Okay, so well, the thing that I have is I've got to get the sync in with the fluorescent lights that I've got. There we go. Okay, so... There we go. I think I'm in sync now. That's where that flickering comes from. Is that okay? I hope that's okay. I sort of feel a little bit flat at the moment in terms of my output of image. It seems a little flat. Feels like it needs some contrast. I don't know. What do you think? Let's change the gamma setting here and see what happens. No. Yeah, and then maybe the brightness. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I think that's all right. Okay, so let's just close this. Just a quick hello to all these other people. DJ Craze, Lucas Elliott, the Tech Doc, Micro Mage Repair. Hello there, Micro Mage Repair. Thank you for joining. Taylor Buchanan. I think that's it. Brighter. Colours look a little flat. Yeah, they do, don't they? It's sort of, I feel like I need some contrast. What's going on here? How about we punch up some saturation? There you go. Okay, so just a little, for people who have just arrived, the reason why all of this is going crazy is I did a very significant update to this server on the weekend, sorry, to this streaming computer on the weekend, new operating system and stuff, and this is the first live stream I've done since that, and so, yeah, things are a little bit haywire, a little bit wacky. I'm having to do things again, but I think I'm okay at this stage. It doesn't look too bad to me. It looks kind of how it was before. Dana is here. Hello, Dana does stuff. You been doing any stuff lately? Don't lie. Retro Techie is here. Hello there. Output much? It does not. No. Okay, so let me just see if I go down like this. Add some contrast and then I'll bring some brightness up. Maybe, yeah, that might. There we go. Whoa. I feel like it's just getting better every second, don't you? Does everyone else feel that way? It's just making me better and better looking as we go. Now we've got to deal with all the friggin' cameras. Okay, let's test some cameras, shall we? Front view, we've got that. What about top view? That's a good sign. That's a good sign. Scope view, that's not a good sign. Let's get some microscope happening here. I can get by with just those ones. If I can get the microscope going, then I think we'll be fine. And shebang-a-bang. Hurrah-ga-bulla-ba-ba. Mr. Crimstar, hello there. Okay, shall we start again? I know when you left, so when I changed over to that camera, is this camera? Or was it this camera? One of the cameras. It's for some reason, don't ask me why, but the eCam just switched over the audio to that, and that has no microphone. I don't think it has a microphone. So anyhow, I'm going to say everything again. Everything again. And won't that be fun? For anyone who's reading lips, I apologise for that I have to go through all this again. But anyhow, so just quick little recap. Thank you for everyone for sticking by with no audio. I do appreciate that. Just not used to that happening because normally when I change cameras it just locks in, but obviously because of the changes to things and such here. So I have installed a new operating system on... where was I? Last weekend I didn't live stream because I was doing a lot of house tidying. I won't go into any further detail than that. Cleaning a lot of things up, just getting rid of mess stuff, all related to doing the bathroom reno. Hello, Rudy. And Jake the Great 05. Hello to you. And Lucas Elliott, hello to you. Thank you to everyone who's letting me know that there was no audio. I do appreciate that. And I will try and read the chat more studiously. Do not show this pop up again. It's one of the worst things about when you're putting new operating systems on, all of these little things popping up, thinking you're using them for the first time. I just need to, there we go. Now a little bit more centered. It's nice for all the OCD people out there. Okay, so the weekend just gone, I spent a lot of time on my web server that I have here in the house. I was running it on El Capitan, a very old operating system, and I wanted to install a new SSL certificate on it, and I like to use Let's Encrypt. Let's Encrypt, a free SSL service, but in order to set them up, you need to install a little utility called CertBot, and I could not get CertBot to install under 10.11. 10.11 El Capitan. So I decided to ditch the whole sort of setup, and I installed Big Sur. It's a 2012 Mac Mini. I just installed Big Sur, and I installed MAMP Pro, and so I'm now using that as my web server. And so far it seems to be going really well, but it did take me a very big chunk of the weekend getting that whole thing set up and working well, because there's a lot of stuff that server does related to some of the things that I've set up for other people and that, and it has to be running. So, alrighty. So, for everyone who stuck around during the lack of audio, I do appreciate it. This is something I was working on just recently. It's a little, this is the controller of an LCD monitor, and the LCD monitor stopped working, and then I happened to notice that there's a little voltage regulator here, and it's got a hole in it. And it's not meant to have a hole in it. So I'm going to have to order a new one of those. I've got this voltage regulator here, which is close. It's close. It's not quite the same. This is a 1 amp, I think, and this is an 800 milliamp. Do I take the chance? What do you reckon? Do you reckon I'll try it? See how it goes. A 3.3 volt voltage regulator. Do you think I should stick an 800 milliamp in place of a 1 amp and just see what happens? What's the worst that can happen? It'll blow up again. I think it will, you know. I'll order the 1 amp as well, but, you know. I haven't even checked to see if the pinouts are the same, but what's the worst that can happen? The screen's already broken. Okay, so, now, my apologies to everyone. All right, let's do that then. Let's swap over the voltage regulator. We'll do that first, and then we'll move on to the analog board. This is nice and easy, this one, because it's a tiny, weeny little board. Let's go here to scope view. And let's hope the sound stays. I will check that though. Yes, the sound stays. Okay, so here we have, now I think, I have a sneaking suspicion, you can see that little black hole there? That's not meant to be there. So that right there, bad. It's bad. There. Now, I think something that has happened with this is, you can see all this, I think this is critter poops. Critter poops. And I think there have been critters crawling around inside this monitor, and I suspect they've, you know, laid their eggs or done whatever, and they've destroyed this thing. So anyhow, this will need a clean in the ultrasonic cleaner. Hello, Sean. Thank you for joining. So all right, let's remove this, replace it with another one, and let's just hope that the new one doesn't blow up. So Boo, 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 boo. I should probably use a heatsink in here because I'm surrounded by a little bit of plastic and whatnot. Now, I did mention earlier that I have a bit of a problem here with space. I will do a little bit of a tidy. I scheduled this live stream, and then the time kind of crept up on me. Whoa, these are my bad tweezers. Oh wow, I can smell critter feces. That's awesome. There she goes. Just using an old blue pill board as a heatsink there. It'll do. Oh man, that stinks. Haven't watched the latest video yet, Sean, the one where you're doing stuff on the brother. I definitely will watch that. I want to see that. I saw the little notification come up. I'd love to see it, but I haven't seen it yet. So, oh man, that reeks. That is just so unsavory. Elemento, hello there. So just anyone who has just joined, if they're wondering why I'm complaining about a smell, I've just removed the voltage regulator from the circuit of this little LCD monitor, and it's surrounded by critter poops, and it does not smell very nice. I am guessing that some little critters made a home inside this monitor that doesn't get used very often, and then their poops has assisted with some sort of short circuit, probably destroyed the critter, I would think. I'd say the critter's probably dead now, and that has blown this little voltage regulator. So we got to pop in a new one. The new one we're putting on is pretty close to the original. Pretty close. I mean, you know, blow up, won't blow up, you know. We'll just see what happens. Now, flux, what do we need? We need flux. Flux is very, very important when we're dealing with any sort of surface mount soldering. I mean, any soldering in general, but surface mount soldering, extremely important. The flux that I choose to use is an Amtech brand. There are other brands out there, and some people swear by them, and I can tell you there are a few that I like, but realistically, Amtech is definitely the one that I like to use. That is my favourite. I would like to find some more tweezers, because the tweezers I've been using are garbage. They'll have to do for now though. I will tidy in a sec. I will tidy. I was going to tidy before the live stream, but you know, time happened. I like to start streaming not too late, in particular when it's a Sunday night in the US. It is actually a Monday morning here. Oh, for fudge. These tweezers are just rubbish. They're gone, they're history. I should just throw them away. It's the only reason why I can find them is because they're the bad ones. All right, so I'm just going to wait till that cools. Then I'll apply some pressure on the top. Got the position and everything. Heat it until I know it's flat. There we go, she's flat. And then I will put a little bit of solder just around the legs. I'm going to make sure that cools. There's a fair bit of heat there. There we go. Now she's cooling. Okay. All right, there's a new voltage regulator on, and it may or may not fix this monitor. And it may or may not blow up afterwards. That now has to be ultrasonically cleaned because I want to get rid of all of that poo. And I'm going to keep this component so that I can order a replacement if that one turns out to be bad. So let's make a little bit of room here, and then we can start working on this analog board. So as the name of the live stream suggests, I am going to be recapping an analog board. This is something that my friend Steve from Mac84 absolutely loves doing, and he never ever procrastinates and tries to do all sorts of other things before actually doing the analog board that needs doing. Okay. Ever see? Look, I have seen roaches do all sorts of things to the insides of stuff. It's the very nature of the stuff that I do here. You know, I do repairs of things, and yes, I do repair computers, but I repair other things as well. And yeah, I've seen critters do really interesting things to the insides of modern kitchen appliances, I can tell you. Okay. Yeah, I'm Micro Mage. I mean, your videos, of course, cover this sort of stuff a fair bit, but I've actually got a video that I've already recorded quite a bit of stuff for, and I have to finish it, where I'm going to be do a guide to soldering for surface mount, because surface mount is one of the things that is very, you know, sort of, it's very intimidating for someone who is a hobbyist solderer. You know, obviously when it comes to doing through hole or something like that, you just put the thing through and you do a little bit of solder, and you can kind of do it with your eyes closed, really. It's pretty straightforward. When it comes to doing surface mount, I would suggest to anyone who does want to do it, a hot air station is essential. A good quality solder is essential. I would suggest that although you can quite happily do it with lead-free stuff, I'd say when you're starting out, do it with leaded solder, because I find leaded is easier more predictable. It's easier to get it to do what you want it to do. And also a really, really good quality Tachyflux. So these are things that I would recommend to anyone if they're wanting to get into surface mount soldering. They've got to have these as you know, as actual basics. When it gets into micro soldering, you're then probably going to need to look into a microscope, a USB or one like this, or at the very least, if your eyes are pretty good, maybe one of those things you flip over like a jeweler's magnifier that has I've got one that does like 8 times magnification, and that helps. That's certainly better than nothing. I have very, very old eyes. They're like, I mean, when I say they're very old, they're 50-year-old eyes. And yeah, they don't work as well as they used to. And no one told me this was going to happen. I'm very upset. I was very upset when that happened. It was like, all of a sudden, my near vision stopped working. And I'm like, I have to go to the doctor. I have to go to the doctor. I went to the eye specialist, not an eye specialist, I went to the optometrist, and they said, yeah, it's perfectly normal for your age. I was like, why didn't anyone tell me? I don't know if I would have done anything different, maybe prepared. I could have had some sort of memorial service for my eye focus, something like that. But yeah, it's very, very frustrating. And just warning anyone who is of a particular age, that's coming, okay? So look forward to it. It happens for most people, probably around their mid-40s. For me, it happened in my early 40s. And I first noticed it when I was working under a car. I was trying to look at something and I couldn't see it, and I couldn't move my head away because I was under a car. I was lying flat on the ground. And I'm like, I used to be able to see from this distance. Webcam. For anyone here who's been watching any of my chicken cam live stream, you've been watching it through this. I will be rigging something up again. I actually started off watching it through this, and then I went through to a security camera. They're better because they have the night vision. Steve is here. Hello. Microscopes are expensive. 50-year-old eyes. Is the warranty up on those things? Totally. I seriously, I mean, this just shows you how naive I was to this. Oh, Ethernet cable, handy. This shows you how naive I was to this. I went to the eye specialist and I actually said, are there some exercises I can do or something to help? And she said, no, there aren't. She said it's the hardening of the lens that loses its flexibility, and so then you can't get that close vision anymore. And I have always had the really, really good close vision. And to just lose it, for it to just disappear, it's just earth-shattering, devastating, life-changing, annoying, frustrating, and other ings. Okay, I am actually cleaning as I'm talking here, and I apologise if I'm getting a little bit on the boring side, but I do need to make a little bit of space here in order for me to do this. I should have done this before the live stream, yes I should have, but I was unable to because ran out of time. Just ran out of time. I could have started live streaming later, but the issue that always happens when I'm live streaming, the later I live stream, the later in the night it is in the US, and so and other parts of the world, I should say. It's not just the US, but the majority of people that watch my live stream are from the US. Okay, now, when was the last time I mentioned multimeters? It's got to be a good while. You guys know what I'm going to say, don't you? Kaiweets, KM601 multimeter. Links in the description if you would like to buy one. Lots of multimeter, lots of features, beautiful big colour screen, low price. Grab yourself one today. Links in the description. Let me show you one of the cool things that I love about this. It's got one of these little things here, and that is a NCV, non-contact voltmeter, or voltage, or whatever you, something that starts with V. And when we go into that NCV mode, which is just here, NCV mode, this will tell me if I'm getting close to high voltages. So nifty, isn't it? Cool. Could save your life. Could save your life. Low price. Could save your life. Okay. Shill. Needs better probes. I actually really like these probes, I'll be honest. Nice and sharp, nice and pointy. I've had no issue with these probes whatsoever. The only problem I had with them, and this is a relatively minor thing, is I found they sometimes fell out from the bottom, but that was why I 3D printed this stand that holds them in. Right. All right, I think I've almost cleared enough space for an analog board here, so I think we're looking good. I love this mouse. This is my favorite of the vintage mices. This is the, what do they call it? The trapezoid mouse, I think they call it, something like that. I can't remember, they call it something. Anyhow, I love this mouse. I prefer the ones with the plastic ball rather than the metal one, but still pretty good. Joe's board, anyone who's been watching the live stream of me repairing Joe from Joe's Computer Museum's SE30 board, I haven't had a chance to get back to that yet, unfortunately, because just I've been so busy. I am going to try and rectify that in the coming days. I want to get it finished so I can get it back so that poor Javier can actually get his computer back. I need to fix up a few little traces, going to the PDS slot specifically, and then I need to put a whole bunch of UV mask down and then bake that and make it go hard to protect those wires so they don't get damaged. So I went out the other day and I bought myself some cheap paint brushes so I can paint that UV mask on in quantity. So let's just have a quick look here. Yep, excellent. I've got everyone talk about the... I am reviewing that meter. Welcome to the club, Micrometer Repair. If you want any ideas, you can have a look at my review. I actually need to review another Kaiweets product, which I really I need to get out and do because it's up there and I want to use it, but I want to include the unboxing in the video. So I haven't got it out of the box yet. And I'm really looking forward to trying it out. It's I actually said to them, look, can I do a review of this? I think I really want to review that. Maybe because I want a free one, but I want to review it. So I am not just going to use it without reviewing it. I'm not that sort of person. I am going to review it first. So what are we looking for here? I'm just going to make some space. I've got all these Q-tips or cotton buds, as we call them, floating around the joint. Just trying to tidy up a little bit so that I've got a little bit of room to work here. That's important. Oh, look what I got. Look what I got. Yes. Yes. So these are what do they get? They stop the what are those things called? The UV, the ultraviolets. So when I am doing a bit of the, what do you call it, the UV solder mask, and I'm using my laser, I can put these on to protect my eyeballs. So there you go. Damn, they make me look cool. Right, now, I actually feel like we're really close now. I found another mouse. This mouse I don't like as much. It's all right, but I don't like as much. It's like Apple Desktop Bus Mouse 2 or something like that. Prefer the trapezoid one, definitely. Right, tweezers, flux. What's everyone been doing lately? Anything interesting? Let's just get some of this mess. Now, one of the downsides with analog board recapping, and this is to anyone who's actually thinking of doing it themselves, is the number of caps that you need to have a supply of. Now, if you're just going to do one, you just buy a kit from Console 5. That's what I'd recommend to everyone. Easiest thing to do. It's not a particularly economical way to buy caps because, you know, you're paying more for each cap. But it's a lot easier than having to go buy like 20 or 30 of a particular capacitor and then, you know, potentially not use any of those other ones again. But for someone like me who recaps lots of things, I buy the capacitors more in bulk quantities. And of course, every time someone sends me a new thing, oh, can you recap this power supply? And it's like, well, yes, I can, but I may not have the caps for it. So when it turns up, I can look at it and there might be 3 or 4 missing and I've got to then go in and order them. So, God, I hate these things. Why are things sealed in a way that you can just never get them open? So frustrating. Continuity test seems slow, but when I get new probes, it works great. Oh, okay, cool. Obviously, just keep in mind with that when it comes to the continuity, so it has a smart mode, and when you're using smart mode, continuity is, I consider to be almost useless because it's so slow to respond. When it's in a smart mode, what it does is it says, okay, what am I testing? It analyzes the result and then it makes a decision. Oh, this person's testing. Oh, wow, just froze there. Did it freeze for you too? Oh, this person is testing DC voltage, or oh, this person is testing continuity, or oh, this person is testing resistance. So it makes that decision based on what the probes are touching, and then it gives you the result. And that process of it analysing the result before giving you the answer does take a little bit of time. So it's good for people who are beginners and they're really not sure what they're supposed to be set on, and they just get out there and stick the probes on something and it's like, oh, look, it gave me the right result. That's all fine. But really, for me, if you want to test continuity, put it in continuity mode and it's quicker. It's not as quick as the Fluke, but it's still pretty good. It's still pretty good. All right, yay. It's also not as expensive as the Fluke. Right, I've got room for an analog board here now. If you don't believe me, check this out. Bang! Space. Now this analog board's actually in pretty good condition, or maybe it's just because I'm comparing it to mine, which is in really bad condition. Oh wow, look at this. I think someone has started recapping it. Well, one of the things that I have learned is never trust someone else's recapping, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just I have had instances where people have sent me boards that they've attempted recapping, and I find wrong caps in the wrong place. I find caps around the wrong way. Oh, hang on. What's going on here? Something's happened. There we go. Woo. Woo! There it is. Ta-da! Thank you very much, Rudy. I'm just going to move this. Thank you very much for that super chat. It's much appreciated. Eep. Now, see, I can't do that. There's a copyright. If I go around eeping when people send me a super chat, I'll have Steve's lawyers on me in a flash, and we can't be having that. So I can go like that clink clank. How about that one? Clink clank. Or I can go. It was the monkey? I don't know. What are some of the other ones that are the other Mac sounds that are out there that I might be able to do, that I might actually be able to do? They didn't give me the metal thing. Oh well. Roger Jones, hello there. I've been streaming for nearly 8 hours straight. What's all that about? I'm cleaning the basement. Steve's cleaning the basement. Good as me. So I know you were doing retro repair roundup at some ridiculous hour that I was fast asleep in. I couldn't do anything about that. And then what, did you jump onto someone else's stream or something like that? Oh, okay. Hours on Dave's stream. Break for prep. What? Okay. Thingamaboob. Thingamaboob. If anyone doesn't know what I'm referring to when I say thingamaboob, time to jump over and subscribe to Joe's channel, Joe's Computer Museum. Subscribe to his channel and you'll find out what a thingamaboob is. It's a word that he saves. He saves it for when he has female guests on his show. Okay, so you can add any alert sound to the system you want. I want the originals. There's quack. Yes, there's quack. No, I can't do it. Quack. I'm a bit rusty today. Okay, I have recapping guides here. They are a very important thing when you're recapping, because if you don't have a guide, you kind of have to take one cap off at a time and then replace it one at a time, so that you don't forget what goes where. The advantage of having a recapping guide is that I can whip them all off, and then I can, and then just put them on at my leisure. So I can grab these ones here. I'm going to remove all of these because I want to have a look at the caps first, make sure they're all nice. They're gold, so I suspect they're probably Panasonics. I could be wrong though. Panasonic don't have the, you know, sort of the 100% market on gold caps, but I suspect they are. They just have that look about. They have a Panasonic-y look about them. Right. Oh no, they're not. Oh no, they're not. I'm not sure there's anything actually wrong with suntan caps, but they seem to be, I don't know. Yeah. Anyhow. Do I use them? Do I use the caps they've supplied? Or do I replace them with my fancy caps? That's the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the stings and the arrows of outrageous fortune. Okay. Got to find the recapping guide, which I do have. It's just in here somewhere. I think I was right there. So this is a recapping guide, recapamac.com.au. If anyone is looking for these guides are all available as PDF or high-res JPEGs, same as high-res photos of the logic boards. That is the main reason why I set up the website in the first place. I wanted there to be good high-res photos of boards. High-res enough so that people could actually zoom in and potentially see like the numbers on these chips if they're looking for replacements, that sort of thing. So if you get hold of a board with missing components, you could then go and have a look at the pics and say, oh, look, that's what I'm missing. So yeah. Which cap brands do you like? I typically just use Panasonic. There are other brands out there that are fine, but I tend to just buy Panasonic. They have a very good reputation. Yeah, so if I, you know, I mean, there are plenty of, I mean, there's, you know, Nichicon are fine. Various others, names I've forgotten. Yeah, lots of good caps out there. Lots of good caps. Okay. Alrighty, just checking. No. Nichicon. Mundorf, I don't even know that one. I may well have bought them before, but haven't just paid much attention. So, let's just have a quick look here. We'll see what caps we have. We have, that's round the wrong way. Can't be having that. So, let's spin this around that way so that the words are around the right way for me. Yeah. All right. Alrighty then. So, we have, what's this one? 1000 microfarad 16 volt, cool. There are two of those. Where's the other one? Where's the other one? What's wrong with my brain? 1000 microfarad 16 volt, two of. Oh, there it is, down there. Oh, okay, there it is. Yep, I see it. That's it. This one is Hitano. 470/35. Okay, yeah, okay, he's putting 35s in replace of 25s, no problem with that. Okay, to go up in voltage. And 1000 microfarad 63. Okay, looks like he's putting 1063 in place of the 1035. All right, look, at the end of the day, I'm going to charge this guy for recapping. And in that is the cost of the caps is included. So I think I'll just put my caps on. Kemet and Vichy, yes, I've used those. All right, okay, so let's keep removing caps. Now we've got these little guys lying down here. There is one cap that I think sometimes doesn't get done, and it's probably maybe because it's a little bit weird looking. It's this green one here. I don't know if you can see it. There's this green one just there. It's a 3316, and there are other 3316s on the board, but this one's shaped like that. Oh, it's frozen again. Oh, ow! Did you see that? You saw that? I'm definitely having some issues with the camera coming in and out. This sometimes happens if the computer's been on for a while. It's easy enough for me to resolve, just restart the computer, but that's not that easy to do mid-live stream. Right, so let's get rid of some of these caps. Color Classic board. One of the big problems with these is heat. It's an underpowered power supply for the job that it has, and so it generates quite a lot of heat, and you will often find burning. Did it again. There we go. You will often find burning in here. A couple of diodes in there that get hot, and it's really very common for you to see burning around those. So, yeah, just be aware of that. Okay, Rudy. Well, I'll just try I'll try not to do anything interesting while you're gone. I'll do my best. Right, so let's get rid of some of these caps out, shall we? I'm going to put on my goggles. Oh, damn, this is really annoying me now. I'm going to just get rid of this one for a sec. Hopefully that will stop the thing from flickering constantly, from freezing constantly. As I say, I know exactly what needs to be done. I've just got to restart the computer, but I'm not going to do that live stream. All right, going to get some of these caps out. I'm going to remove the flux, the solder, probably with this to start off with. If it gets tedious, I will switch over and use the machine. Why not just use the machine from the start, I hear you say? Of course. Actually, there's a very good reason, and that is the machine is a little bit hard to get to at the moment. Oh, look at my bald head. Camera con needs to be a bit further that way, doesn't it? There we go. So this is the guy. It's really common with this one for it to leak and get nasty. I'd highly recommend you replace this one if you're recapping. I mean, replace them all, but this one in particular. Shall we just check and see what this one is like at the moment? It is... Oh! Uh-oh. Look what it's done. It's now made me look weird. It actually flicked off and on long enough for it to lose all of my settings. All right, that's it. I'm unplugging it. I've just unplugged the microscope cam for the moment. I probably won't need the microscope for any of the stuff that I'm doing here. We'll probably just this top-down view will work for us. I might just zoom in a smidge so you get a slightly better view. There we go. But I think this will probably do us for an analog board. Different if I was doing a logic board, but all right. So let's see if we can get the image back good again. Stupid thing. Okay, I've got myself a wee flicker. Camera default, and then we go to manual. Sorry about this, guys. Stupid. It was there for a second. The flicker, by the way, if you're wondering what the flicker is, that is a synchronization problem between the camera and the fluorescent lights which are illuminating my head. Whoa, see that? Did you see that? And it's very blowy here today. All right. Now, how about I save that now? Save new profile. Call this one Cam. Oh, there's something pressing the spacebar. Ah, dear. The joys, the joys. All right. We should be able to continue now with that issue because I had disconnected the microscope camera. So we should stop getting that flickery stuff. All right. Sorry, everyone. I wanted to get out the old ESR meter and just check what the ESR is like on this particular cap. So we're going to do that now. And we are getting, it's going up. Getting 0.34. Yeah, it's around about 0.3, shall we say. So let's have a look at the little lookup. They don't have the size. 16 volt. Yeah, it's definitely high. It is absolutely definitely, oh no, it's not. Yeah, I do consider it a bit on the high side. No, it's not. No, it's fine. Okay, it's fine. It's not high at all. So just forget about that. But still needs to be replaced. It's old. Oh no! I knocked over all my Q-tips. Anyone? Oh no! World in crisis. Dun 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 dun. It's terrible. Didn't even see that happen. I'll have to go and rewind. Heated cap discussions. I will not add to that because I don't really care. So these are stuck on with snot. So quite a few of the caps on this board are stuck on with this plastic snot. It's not hot glue from a hot glue gun. You might think that it's hot glue from a hot glue gun, but in actual fact, this stuff is much more temperature resistant. Hot glue guns, one of the main things, obviously you apply a certain amount of heat and then it just goes liquid. This stuff here, although it may actually be applied from a hot glue gun, this is not your standard hot glue that you'll buy from your hardware. If you were to use standard hot glue, you'll find it'll probably melt in this particular application. There's one. Just cracking off the snots. There we go, and there's two. So now we just have to remove the solder, the solder. Oh, here's another one. Yeah, actually, I did find this one before, didn't I? Out you go. Oopsie. Oh, there's a stink on that one. Oh yeah, getting that. I think we've found some with some leakage. The nose. Yeah, look at that. This camera's a little bit bright, isn't it? There we go. You can't really see because of how bright it is. Sorry about that. Why is it so bright? Let's go to that one. Yeah, okay, cool. Oh, that's why it's so bright. Brightness is turned all the way up. Strobe it. Okay. There we go. So, leakage aplenty. And you can see it on the board here as well when the focus comes back. It's here. I'm just going to go like that, and you can see gunge, out of focus, gunge. There we go. There's the focus. All right. So, good thing to have them removed. It let me know that they were bad just by the stink. But yeah, they're definitely leaky, those two caps, so they want to be replaced. I'm going to get these guys out as well. These skinny fellas. Making all the other fat caps feel bad about their body. Body shaming caps. These sorts of manual suckers are quite good on analog boards. I wouldn't recommend them on anything that's really old or corroded because they suck really freaking hard, and they can actually sometimes damage traces and stuff when you're lifting the caps off. Okay, how are these ones looking? These ones aren't too bad. I can see a little bit of crust just on this one here. It's really common for these ones to leak, so I'm never surprised if I lift one off and find a little bit of leakage. And I do think there's some just coming around the edge of this one here. But, yeah. Reed Reinfeld, hello there. Most of Asia is good at making capacitors. Well, I can't speak for that. But what I can tell you is we can have a look. Let's see if why don't we have a look inside this guy? Should I get the Dremel out and try and cut it open? Does that sound like that might be fun? Or is that just me getting sidetracked and getting bored, and then people are just like, oh, can you just stick to what you're doing? Instead of stopping and doing silly things like opening caps up with the Dremel. What do you reckon? Is anyone in? Anyone in? We're going to Dremel it. Where's my Dremel bits? Here's my Dremel bits. I needed to get the Dremel bits out because I bought some new ones and I need to put them in their home. I've already lost one. I've already lost one of the bits. Here it is. Okay, so let's put those in there. This is the tool of choice. I've got to say I love this. This is one of the best things I ever bought for the Dremel. It's got a little quick release thing here so I can just pull it down and then you can take the cutting blade off like that. Just really, really good, really good. Right, now I've got the drill bit in at the moment, this one. I use the drill bit quite a lot when I'm drilling through corroded vias and stuff like that. And I even sometimes use a needle as a drill bit. That works quite well too. Highly recommend it. For folks is to get a drill bit attachment for your Dremel. For your Dremel. These are my little tiny drill bits. And I've just lost the lid, and you need the lid. I cannot even begin to tell you how much you need the lid. Otherwise, you just end up with drill bits everywhere. I don't really care what size they are, because I don't look at them and say, oh, I need a 0.7mm or something like that. I just, I go, oh, that looks the right size. So I don't particularly care about them not being in the right little compartment there. All right, so let's put the drill bit back and get the other bit. Use a handsaw. Robert Zarafa, have I said hello to you? If not, hello. Weird time for me to be streaming. It is a Monday here. You know what I need to do? I did this with my other live stream. I really should do this. I should do this. I'm going to do this. Ding. Nope, wrong one. Ding. And I'm going to go that. And I'm going to go that. Nope, that. There we go. And there we go. Put that up in the corner there. That's the time it is here at the moment, so everyone can see that is the time in this particular part of the world. So if anyone is curious, saying, hey, Bruce is in Australia land, what time is it there? Well, there you know. Now you know. Alrighty. Sorry about the noise. Should I mute? I might just mute for a sec. You probably saw none of that, sorry. It's a little bit hard for me to hold it close to my face so that I can see what I'm doing, and then obviously make it visible to you as well. Anyhow, here's the cap. I have now sliced it. I'm going to open it up, see what it looks like inside. Whee, there we go. Taking the sides off. There we are, pretty little aluminium sides. And then here's the cap. I've of course sliced into the stuff. But what we have here is it's a hidden message. No, it's not. It is rolls of this insulation stuff, and on the other side is this papery stuff soaked in electrolyte. That is what is leaking out. It's the electrolyte that is infused into this stuff here that leaks out of it. So there you go. Oh, it smells. So that's the innards of this capacitor. Isn't that cool? Now, the reason why these days, a lot of the time, well, not a lot of the time, some of the time these days, instead of liquid electrolyte, they can use it like a powder instead. That's when they use these these hybrid caps, and so they don't leak. But a lot of them still use liquid. Jay turns up eventually. Now we can't hear the Dremel speeding up. Lazy Jones has heard my Dremel before. my Dremel just sort of speeds up. Just speeds up. Yep. Because it's special. Right, so let's just have a little look around here. I'm going to get rid of some of the snot before I put the new caps on. I'm going to probably just replace all the caps in this region first, and then we'll start removing other ones as we go. Come on, snot. I'm going to see, just to make Jay happy, I am going to do a Paul Daniels for him. I'm going to go, hello, House of Moth. Jay likes that. He likes to jump onto Paul Daniels' stream and have him do that. Got some new toothbrushes. Yay. Interesting thing about toothbrushes, I'm just going to go on a slight tangent here. Toothbrushes are one of those classic examples in marketing where they are constantly trying to reinvent You know, they're constantly trying to make their, I mean, what is it? It's a stick with some bristles on it. They're a very straightforward product. And Reach is a very early example, I think, of a toothbrush where someone designed a toothbrush as a solution to a problem that didn't actually exist. So essentially what they're marketing with this toothbrush is, this is, as I say, it's a Reach toothbrush. Their marketing campaign was that a Reach toothbrush, because of its bent neck, allows you to get to teeth that you couldn't get to because of the bent neck. Now, no one, and I mean no one, has ever had trouble brushing their teeth, every part of their mouth, with a straight toothbrush, ever. They created a problem in order to provide a solution. And it's a very, very common thing in marketing. And I'm not saying they make bad toothbrushes, but it's just always made me laugh that they've had this marketing campaign saying, "Oh, you can't brush your teeth unless you have probably unless you have a bent neck on your toothbrush." And it's like, that is just absolute bull. Bull, I tell you. Water jets. I'm not sure how much the board would like water jets. Oh, you talk about your mouth. Ah, fair enough. Well, as someone who still has every single one of his own teeth with no fillings, I will not be lectured on how to look after my teeth. Simple as that. And we're ready for...
Smash that like button.
Okay. We should get like 4 sets of teeth. Yeah, well, certainly for some people, I can definitely see that. Yeah, indeed. I've been pretty happy with the ones that I got. I went to the dentist once, and he was, you know, I was talking about sort of my teeth, and I said, yeah, I think my teeth are the way they are because I look after them so well, and you know, and probably because of genetics as well. And he just said, probably genetics. What an insult! Can you believe he just dropped that in there? He's suggesting I don't look after my teeth properly? Anyhow, what are you going to do? Enzo, I don't think I've said hello to you, so Enzo. Oh, I haven't said hello to you, Dave, either. Hello, Dave. I hear you had a very, very long live stream. It may have still been going when I got up, but when I saw the notification, I think it arrived at like 3 a.m. my time. And I looked at it and I went, oh, wow, Dave streamed early, or, you know, sort of, yeah, earlier than usual. And I didn't even bother to look to see whether you were still streaming. You could well have been when I woke up. Let's get some caps on this board. Yeah. Now, these are the caps that the person supplied with the board. They started recapping it and obviously decided, no, I don't want to. Now, there's probably nothing wrong with these caps, but I am going to use my own, mainly because I am going to charge them for recapping, and the caps are included in the cost. So I may as well just give them the caps. Let's begin with our recapping guide, recapamac.com.au. You will find recapping guides there. So we're just going to do this little cluster here. So I'm going to need, these are all 16, 25, 10, 16, 25, 10 and 35. So let's start with the 10s, shall we? No, let's start with the 16s because they're right here. Ah, yes. Oh, this is the little teeny 16s. No, this is not the 16s. These are not the 16s you're looking for. Do you know I keep some bad caps? I know that might seem stupid. Why would you keep bad caps? But I keep them for testing things. Like if I get a piece of equipment that is for testing stuff, I keep the bad caps so that I can see that the equipment is correctly showing me that the caps are bad. Call me crazy. Just don't call me late for dinner. Okay, 5600s. Need a couple of those. Bang. That's 10. What else have we got in 10? We need a 1000 10. Bang. Panasonic. Pop that in your pipe and smoke it. Okay, so that's the 10s. Let's now go to 16s. Actually, no, we won't. We go to 25s because they're right here. Bang, 25. Bang, 2 470s. Here we go. Panasonics again. Panasonic saves the day. Ah. Where are the 35s? There, they're up there. Okay, now we're in the 16s. We're in the big boys. 2 1016s. Bang. 2 3316s. Oh no. Oh no. Oh yeah, it's all right. These are the tall thin ones. Need the tall thin ones. And then we've got our little short fat one. It's just like me. Short and fat. Having said that, I'm pretty tall and handsome today. Don't know why. 1035. Another one. There we go. Another Panasonic. I will probably need to go and do another capacitor order soon. I have actually got a task in mind that I'm going to be doing in the not too distant future. I am going to be recapping at least one, possibly two, G5 iMacs. And of course they have, for those who aren't aware, they have lots of leaky capacitors in them because of the capacitor plague at the time. They were actually made using faulty capacitors. And they have a very high failure rate, and they failed early and they failed often, and in this instance they have failed. When you open it up and you look at the caps, there's just gunk leaking out all over them. They're all swollen and now here's the funny thing about the G5 iMac. Why even bother fixing it? I mean, it is such a bad machine. What I like about it was the first Mac in that shape, so where the computer is on the computer is part of the screen, which then they rolled out into the Intels, and of course they're still with it now. They're a lot thinner than they used to be, but it's still essentially the same design. So they're actually I think a very important computer in Apple's design history. But you know what I want to do? I have two of these. I don't need two. I'll probably keep one for the collection and I'll sell one. I'm really interested to see if I recap it, completely recap it, restore it, put a new drive in it, probably an SSD, max out the RAM, make it run as well as I possibly can, and then put it up on eBay. Will I be able to sell it, pardon me, for a decent price? Recapped by Brankers. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, when you've got the G5 iMacs, they sometimes still work. GT from Macataka and from Macyak, he got one and it works. Max is here. Hello, Max. Max, do you still want this not working iMac that I have? The Indigo one? You are so welcome to it. I mean, like, I cannot even begin to tell you how welcome you are to it. Hello, Adam McGee. Don't say that. You got to have faith, Adam. You have to have faith, in particular in this country. Even someone like Max knows how much things often get sold for here in this country. All good. What time is it there in Australia? See, look at that. See, you don't have to ask that now because it's up here in the corner. Yeah, see? I'm going to add some text here. I'm going to go, I'll put that there. And then I'm going to go add some text. And I'm going to go, I need a keyboard for this. Whoops. Okay. Australian Eastern. Well, that's not how you spell East. Eastern. Yes, it is. Daylight time. Okay. Add. And we can put that up in the corner there under that. And we'll shrink it down. I'll make this bigger because that's going to get too small to see then. There we go, look at that. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, or AEDT. So now we all know what time it is in this part of the world. It's heading towards lunchtime. Given that I haven't actually had breakfast, I'm really looking forward to lunch. Got some nice fresh bread there. Got some cold cured meats. Yum. Yes, we're all looking forward to that, aren't we? Okay, recapping guide. Here we go. Let's get some caps into this thing. We are going to put in a couple of 3316s first, and they are these tall guys here. Yeah, that's them. Yeah. These are Nichicon brand. If you're wondering why these are Nichicon brand and not another brand, it's because they are the only ones I could find in this skinny profile, which is kind of needed for this because they go in there. Okay. What is the temperature? Now see that's where we might need Kai Wheats. Kai Wheats KM601 digital multimeter. So much multimeter at such a low price. Because one of the things that this has is a thermometer. Right in here now, it is 16 degrees of the Celsius scale. If you need to convert that, Google can do it for you. All right, let's get some caps in here. These have a little plus sign on them, or screen printed onto the board there. There's a plus sign there and there. But they also have a little icon here which indicates which is the positive and the negative. So I know that this is that way round. And this one is that way round. There we go. Looking good. Now we've just got to solder these in. I bend these just a little bit. I don't bend them much. I don't like really majorly bent pins. It frustrates me. But what I do often do with these is I solder one side, just one side first. Don't need any additional flux with this because I am using a flux core solder. So there's a little core of flux in the middle of it. That melts as the solder melts. And so the solder's going straight on. It's not like when you're doing surface mount soldering where you might actually put the solder down before or after and you need the flux to make it all work. This here, I'm actually soldering it at the time the solder is melting and the flux core is enough to do the job. This is so much easier since I turned that light on. Little cones and rods in my eyes are much happier. I think I'm doing all this with cones at the moment. Or is it the rods? I can't remember. Which ones allow you to see colour? They're the cones, aren't they? And the rods allow you to see in the dark? I can't remember. Didn't do much schooling. Found new 4MB PAL sims for my Mac 2X boxes. Had to fiddle around a bit with Mode 32 and stuff. But now both 2Xs have 32 megabytes. That is pretty awesome. Gotta love it. I'm very jealous I don't have a 2X. It's actually, it doesn't feel as cold as 16. It actually feels quite a lot warmer, maybe because the sun's out. It's just the thing in this room that it's cold in this workshop because concrete floor and whatnot. Google says 60.8 degrees. Okay, next caps. Let's try a couple of 1016s. They'll be the little guys. Maybe with these ones. Nope, not you. No. How about these ones? 1016s. Yes, they are. So we've got one down here, and we've got one up here. So, this one. Goggles back on. That looks right. And here. So, basement getting clean, Steve? I'm just saying that so he has to stop cleaning and come to the keyboard. So when it comes to Sims, 30-pin Sims are obviously what we're talking about. When we're talking about a 2X, you will find them readily available on eBay. There's a company I think called Memory Masters, and I suspect they're making them. And you can generally find Sims. They're not super cheap, but they're still cheaper than they used to be back in the day. And you can generally find Sims without any trouble. I mean, for example, I've bought a whole stack of 16s, and that has enabled me to upgrade quite a few Macs. So I've got 4 16s in my 2CI. That's running a Radius Rocket board. So in actual fact, the Sims are on the Radius Rocket board. So I've got 4 16s there on that one. I did try and run that with 8 16s, but it got upset. And I've got 4 16s in my SE30. And I've got 4 16s in something else as well, but I can't remember what. And truth be told, if I'm ever in a situation where I've got a little bit of excess cash, you know, maybe I've just had a big invoice paid or something like that, it's not uncommon for me to just jump on eBay and buy 4 16 meg Sims. It's kind of stupid. It's kind of pointless. I mean, you know, what are you going to do? You're going to sit there and use Photoshop or something on these things? I mean, yes, they'll work better, but I mean, you'll go to open up a JPEG and you'll sit there for half an hour waiting for the damn thing to open. Because they're just so darn slow. Okay, you might have memory, but... Alright, so that was them, and this is here. Now I've got my big fat 5600s. And I'm going to put these in, and I've got to bend them. Bend the knees. I'm just going to move this camera a touch. There we go. I need to set up a better camera mount for this thing here. I welded one for this camera, but this one is just an old, it's like a shelf bracket stuck to the roof. I need to weld a better one. Yeah. Pop quiz. Which version of macOS features the Easter egg that spontaneously appears with the message, "Bluettes and granola bars make a chewy snack"? Okay, well, there we go. Challenge is there. Jeremy's Vintage Hillbilly Shake. Yes, we are talking about a Color Classic analog board. You will find that information in the name of the video. So it's a Color Classic analog board. Needs recapping. We did find some fairly significant leakage, particularly on the 5600 caps, the ones I'm replacing now. You see all this yellowy stuff here? That ain't meant to be there. This is just meant to be plain white, and it's nasty. So, what is a fair price for a Mac Color Classic? Thinking of selling mine. Oh, I don't know. See, probably $20 plus shipping to Australia. I don't know. That's probably. It really does depend which part of the world you're in. Over here, you would probably be paying well over $500, I would think, for a Color Classic. Possibly even more than that. I'm forever, I'm amazed by the price that some things go for around here. What? Oh, that's right. These bend over. I'm like, why doesn't this fit? That's right. They're bent over. That's why. So I'm just going to bend these pins flat like that, and then we can plonk those in there. I don't have the same snot that they use to stick these things down. But what I do have is I have this stuff, which I will often use if I want to stick stuff down. It is it's a silicon sealant, but it's one that's it's specifically designed. It's a neutral cure, so it's not acidic, and it's specifically designed for using with electronics. So, as I say, silicon sealant that I can then stick things down with. It's nice stuff. Nice stuff. All right, let's get these caps down. Do-do-do. 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 Someone's knocking at my door. Do-do-do. Has anyone ever heard of that guy? Legendary Stardust Cowboy and his fantastic music. Okay, we continue. Scholastic, look at that, he remembered. That's one of the words that Jay had a bit of a blind spot with in the early days, Scholastic. Like me and equivalent series resistance, just would not go into my brain. It would not. Caps. Okay, so I've got my 56s down now. And then let's look here. What have I got? I've got a couple of 470 25s. One there and one there. So. There we go. Do. Just checking the chat here. LC Fossil folder already has a Mystic upgrade built in. Haha! Big screen though. Heavy. And of course the other problem with the 575 that the Classic does not have, is brittle plastic. The 575 is so brittle that the weight of its own CRT can actually damage the inside. I have a 9500 in the boot of my car, which I am actually going to throw in the bin. Or in the trash. It's one I've had in storage for ages, and then I pulled it out recently to use it, and the power supply blew up, fried the logic board. I've kept the logic board, it's here. And I've kept the CPU, and I've kept the RAM from it, and I'll probably keep the power supply as well, because it can probably be fixed. But the case is just gone. It's, you know, the metal part is fine, but it's rusted. Fine's the wrong word. The metal part is in one piece, but it's rusted. All of the plastics in it, you touch them and they dissolve. And anyhow, I was about to put it back into storage, and I just thought, this is stupid. Why am I keeping this thing? So I'm going to take the bezel off the front. It has one good bezel. I'm going to take that off the front. I'm going to keep it, put it aside in case it's needed. And then I'm just going to throw the rest away. I just don't see a point in keeping a pile of broken plastic. I just don't. Especially when the logic board's fried. I'll probably be able to fix it, but, you know, it's not high on my list of priorities at the moment. It's only a 9500. If it was 9600, that'd be a different story. LC3 makes a good headless server. I've been struggling a little bit with my LC3 lately. It keeps on crashing. I don't know if it's because of DDoS or something like that, but I've got it running as a web server. I had it running as a web server. I had to switch it off to use the Ethernet cable for something else. But and I've been using it as a... Oh, guess what I did? I put the wrong cap in the wrong place. This is why we check our work. So my LC3, I've got it running as a web server, and it goes fine for like a day, and then it just freezes. I don't have a screen connected to it, so it's hard for me to even see what's going on. So it's sort of, the computer I believe is still working, it just stops, the web server stops working. Regarding surface mount resistors, will you be doing a video or live stream? Video, pre-recorded video. For something like that, it's got to be pre-recorded. I've got to be able to, it just makes sense. I've got a live stream where I do a lot of that stuff. And it's one of my most watched live streams, but it's still a live stream. So it's, you know, it's a bit hard, you know, when you're sort of trying to learn something in a live stream, and I stop all of the time talking to people in the chat. But yeah, all the surface mount stuff is pre-recorded. And as I say, I've already recorded quite a lot of it, but there's a lot of cutting together to do. And then of course I need to do an intro, and I need to address all of the ridiculous things that people say in my videos, where they say, oh, you're doing that wrong, and you're doing that, and you should have said this, and you should have said that. I don't address all of them, but I just address some of the really stupid ones. Okay. Crisis averted. Let's put this cap in the right place so that it can't happen again. So I put the 3300 where a 5600 should be, because they're the same sort of fiat. There we go. Hello, Rob. Lots of brilliant people with terrible personalities. You're not talking about me, are you? Hope not. Live streams are rather self-indulgent though, aren't they? Hey everyone, watch me. I guess one of the things for me with doing the live streams is I'm out here doing this stuff anyway. And if people want to watch and ask questions and chat while I'm in the process of doing it, then everybody happy. Oh, my personality is great. Well, thank you, Ryan. I do appreciate that. Have you done a video on trace repair? Yes, I have. Need to do a video on zero track sensor alignment of a floppy drive. Yes, Nate. That's one of the ones on my list. The biggest problem I've had at the moment is time to do pre-recorded videos. I'm really struggling with that. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to have to just work longer hours, but or stop drinking. I think, yeah, I am going to do a zero track alignment video, and it is absolutely going to happen. So just be aware that is the case. What have I got here? I've got a 1000 microfarad 35, and that is going to go in between the, well, it's not going to go in between because there's only one there, but if there was another one there, it would be in between. It's going to go right here. Right here. I need to try and figure out a way of getting the old chicken live stream happening again. And the complications I had before were that the weather turned a little inclement, and the microphone I was using for the chickens is not waterproof, and I had not set up any sort of weatherproofing for it, so I had to remove it. I have a camera there with a microphone, but unfortunately Ecamm, the live streaming software I use, won't stream the audio from that camera. It just flat won't do it. 1000 microfarad is 1 farad, isn't it? No, I don't think it is. I think it's. I think 1 farad is many more. Maybe 100,000 microfarads, or 1 million microfarads. I know it's many more. Micro usually means millionth, doesn't it? So I think it's like 1 million microfarads. Anyhow, Joe will know. Just ask Joe. Is it kind of funny, isn't it, that the unit of measure that we use for capacitance, the most common one that we use is microfarad. Now I realise there are picofarads and nanofarads and all sorts of stuff, but typically it's certainly something like this, microfarad. I mean, It's funny that it's based around a unit of measure that is so big that you actually have 1 farad is big. They should have, I think it shouldn't be. So, just saying. Someone did it wrong. Now, here's an interesting thing. I've ended up... Is this mine? Yeah, this is mine. Is this mine? No, that's not mine. Okay, so this is mine. So this is the missing capacitor, I'd say. There's a little gap there. Well, there's 2 gaps. Oh, here's the other one. Is this the other one? No, that's not it. All right, what's going on? So this is a 1010. That is here. There. I think I missed getting a few caps from here. Go there. Yeah. Sorry. We're getting there. Very time consuming, very tedious, the old analog board. But in the instance of this one, this person sent me 4 boards. I need to actually check with him about one of them. I was very rushed when he dropped them off, and I really didn't get a chance to properly absorb everything he was telling me. It's one of the reasons why I do like it where people send me stuff, they put stuff in writing. But I just need to, he sent me I think it's a Mac Plus analog board, and I'm not sure if he wants me to recap it or repair it or whatever the case is. Right, so what are we missing there? We're missing 100 volt. Say what? 100 volt. We want a 100 microfarad, 100 volt. So let's go and grab the 100 volt capacitors from up here, and then have nowhere to put them. Oh, excuse me. Do. 2 of them. I need 2 of them. How about that? Excuse me. Excuse me. 100 microfarad, 100 volt. Duo. So where's the other one go? Tell me that and stay fashionable. Up there. Let's get rid of the other one. He's a little tall, skinny fella. 100. Is that him? Is that you? Yeah, that's you. Okay, let's get rid of him. Ooh. It's with vodka. What's with vodka? Can I have some vodka? Someone got vodka? Is the stream choppy or is it just me? Anyone else? Anyone? Just you. Cool. So I've read a really interesting article today, and I guess a warning for folks for several things. One thing, of course, one warning is don't become too dependent on sort of a single provider, any provider, whether it be Google or whether it be Apple or whoever, for running too many things in your life. Because if one of those accounts gets shut down, you can impact on everything. This is a person who had a Google account. Now, you know, when you log into things, you have that you have an option. Log in with an email address, log in with a Google account, log in with a Facebook account, log in with an Apple account, that sort of thing. Thing to keep in mind that if you're logging into those things with one of those accounts, and if one of those accounts then gets shut down, you then are cut off from other services. And this is an instance where someone pretty much did everything with his Google account. And when his Google account got shut down, it didn't just impact on Google, it impacted on everything. He wasn't able to log into loads of other things because his Google account was switched off, and he was unable to get it switched back on again. And it just sort of, I am someone who, whenever I log into something, I log in using email. When they give me those choices to log in with Facebook or whatever, sure, they're a quick, easy way of logging in, but I still use email to log in for that reason, so that I don't get too locked into a specific account, because what they might give, they can also take away. And yeah, so just thought I'd mention that one. Interesting article. Essentially what happened to this person is he took a photo of his child's private parts because there was an infection. And he took that photo in order to send it to his doctor, because it was during COVID, during lockdown. They couldn't go into the doctor, so they were having like a video consultation, and so they sent a photo of the of this young child's problem to the doctor. And because it was stored in the cloud, it got flagged by Google as being bad, and they just shut down his entire account. And even after getting the police involved, having it all cleared, getting the police and the doctor involved in the whole thing, they're saying there was no abuse. This photo was taken for medical reasons. Google still refused to open up the account again. So it's a really interesting article. And as I say, this is someone who then got impacted. That impact of that went much further because they weren't able to access anything anymore. Just interesting. I just thought I'd mention it. Good luck remembering your passwords. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in this day and age, I just rely on the computers, various tools that are out there, things like 1Password and that, to manage the passwords. There's just no way that you can remember them. You go to create an account for something and they say, you need 8 characters that must include a lowercase letter, an uppercase letter, a character, and a number. And you just think there is just no way that I can come up with a password that I'm going to remember for that. And then, of course, they say you shouldn't use the same password for all these different services. And so you come up with lots and lots and lots of different passwords. Okay, so that's most of the danger cats done. We're going to do a few more because of the wonderful things he does. So let's just get some more. We'll liberate some more capacitors from the board. A few of these mid-sized ones. Whoa! Nearly lost the Kai Wheats onto the floor there. Sorry, yes, sorry. And pop. Out comes the cap. What one was that one? He looks all right. 250 volt, 10 microfarad. Trying to find where the... there it is. You get pretty good at finding the 2 pins for a cap on the other side. Sort of telling them apart from whether it might be a resistor or a diode or something like that. You just get fairly good at it based on the sort of kind of the layout of the traces on the back. Okay, there's one there, there's one here, and here's one here. And here's one here. Let's keep up with the chat. It keeps their passwords listed in a text file. I know lots of people that do that. Yeah, it's not using their cloud service or anything. It's all synced through my own web dev server and Their encryption has yet to be broken. There you go. All right. Capacitors. Liberate. Falling down on the floor. Okay. That's good. So that is all of the largish ones. These little tiny ones just never really seem to go as bad as quickly as these bigger ones. So I tend not to replace them unless there is a problem there. Security is just becoming such a huge issue in this day and age. I mean, anyone who's setting up a service, if you're going to be holding personal information, it all just becomes a nightmare. All the things that you have to do, the lengths you have to go to. People just need to stop being bad. Don't you reckon? Bent pins. Who bent the pins of this capacitor? They should be grotted. Ah. So I'm just reading all this stuff about passwords here, which of course I did bring up. Right. Right, where am I? What am I doing? What's happening? Caps, that's right. We need a couple of 35s. 35, here we are. A 220 35 and a 470 35. 220, 470. Oh, I'm going to need some more 470s. And I have some Nichicons there, but this is the last of the Panasonic. $220, $470. I feel like I'm going to need to check all of these for polarity, because I just feel like my brain hasn't quite been right on the job for some of this. But that's why we check. I love the biometric face scanning on my iPhone 13. Yeah, it was a bit of a problem with mandated face masks. Having said that, I was able to get my watch to unlock it, and that was good. It was mainly because I pay for everything with Apple Pay, or you know the scanny thingy, and that's called Apple Pay, isn't it? Yeah, and of course that needed a key pass. You know, needed me to punch in numbers or use my face, and if I had a mask on, my face didn't work. But I have to say, I do like it. On the whole, it works flawlessly. I know how much Jay likes face, you know, sort of the face scanning technology. He's a huge fan of it. But given how much trouble I had with the finger thing, the finger recognition, just could never get that to work. Oh, it's Kowit's time, is it? You recommend a good low-budget multimeter? Well, it's funny you should say. I should actually mention I have just recently applied for the affiliate program of another provider. No conflict of interest with the multimeter. This is a software company, and I'm awaiting approval. I do hope it comes through. If it doesn't come through, I'll be very upset, and I want to know why, and I'll probably cry. But yeah, so you might be expecting some more shilling. But once again, I applied specifically for this one because I like their product. So, you know. So anyhow, this is a Kowit's KM601 digital multimeter. Lots of multimeter, low price. You want to know how many features it has? I mean, look, that many. So much stuff. It's awesome. And beautiful big color screen. Seriously, you just cannot get past that big color screen. That is brilliant. I'm not going to need it for this at all today, but never mind. There's actually something that this has that my Fluke does not have. And I'm going to demonstrate it to you right now. And apart from the great big color screen, which is really easy to read, I'm going to put this onto continuity mode. And I want just to imagine for a second that maybe I have hearing issues. Again, put this together and green light. Green light for continuity. How good's that? I love it. Fluke doesn't have that. Fluke doesn't have a flashlight on the back either. Or what we in this country call a torch. Just checking the chat. All right, so only a few more caps to go, and then we can probably try this one out. I will check things first, though. I have to tell you. There's a little chappy in there. What's it? 250 volt. 250 volt. I'm sure they're in the container with my hundreds. Yeah, they are. No, they're not. Oh, they're right on the bottom. Of course they are. Shuzbutt. All right. So, what are we after? We're after a 10 microfarad 250 volt. Nichicon. Nichicon. Boop. Boop. GT is here. Hello, GT. I never did find my 2X6803 upgrade board today, but I did find my 2X6804 upgrade. That's a pretty good bonus. Nice to have a little bit of 040 power. This is something I have mentioned in my streams a few times before, but one of the things that I absolutely love about the 040 upgrade in my 2CI, the Radius Rocket, is that you can actually run system 6.08 on a 2CI running an 040 board. And I've got to tell you, that is from some high-speed computing. That is a very, very lightweight operating system with a very powerful, for the time, CPU. And that's fun. That's a lot of fun. Okie dokie. What else are we going to do? We're going to do, I'm sure there's still an empty one here. There we go, there's an empty. Oh, there's two empty. Let's look at that one first. That one there is a 47 microfarad 100 volt. The hundreds are here. Hundreds are here. Where are the hundreds? The hundreds aren't far. Here we go. 4700. 4700. I'll have to do a stock take soon and buy some more caps. It costs a fortune. It costs a fortune. I found that multimeter in red on Amazon. Well, you can't buy it from there. You got to buy it. You got to use my affiliate link. That's as simple as that. That's just how it works. Did I get it? Yeah, 4700. Okay, cool. I'm getting more and more distracted as time goes on. One of the things that's been a little bit frustrating with me being so busy lately is, yes, I haven't been able to stream, but I haven't been able to watch streams either. And that's a shame, you know, miss out on all the fun stuff. I was watching a little bit of Steve's stream, I think it was yesterday. But I kept on having to go, I kept on having to leave and do things and stuff, and, you know. 25 volt, 220, 25 volt. 25 volts. Don't fall down. 220. Oh, it's my last one. Shall have to buy some more. 220, just double check. Double check. 220, 25. I mean, I've got some 35s if worst comes to the worst, but I had someone desperately trying to tell me that my CRT discharging video is incorrect. I was leaving things in the comments, which have now been removed. I made it very, very clear at the beginning of that video that I was following Apple's discharging guide, and so that if they had any issues with the way I was doing it, they should take it up with Apple. But this particular person clearly did not see that part of the video, and so decided to leave some comments in the video. Well, as I say, which I have since deleted, because I made it very, very clear at the beginning of that video that I did not want to start arguments or discussions about CRT discharging. I merely wanted to show the procedure that Apple have in their service guide. I got my hands on a working LC575 last week, but the plastic in it was so brittle the shipping destroyed it. Yep. I've spent the weekend breaking it down for parts. Thankfully, the logic board is good. Yeah, the analog board looks very similar to this one, just a bit bigger. Yes, it is very, and in actual fact, same as with the 580. They also look very, very similar, just bigger, to go into the bigger box there. So that is indeed the case. They have the same sort of situation where they slide in and they have this little connector that goes, and the anode scared me. Yeah, I saw Steve get scared by the anode. I didn't see it. I saw it on the replay, but I did hear it when I was actually working on the computer yesterday and Steve was streaming. I heard the crack. Yeah, of the anode. So you were working on a 512K, or is it 512KE? 512K enhanced. And I'm pretty sure those are the models that were before the bleeder resistor. And yeah, so you can definitely get a good old sizable crack out of those ones. All right, okay. Well, I'm going to check my work now because, but on the whole, I'm fairly happy and I feel like I can probably test this one out now. So one really quick, easy way I test is just, I look at the stripes from the photo of the original caps and see that the stripes are in the same place. Stripe, stripe. Speaking of stripes, haven't seen Gremlins in a while. It's a good movie. Sometimes difficult to get people to watch it though. Tell you what I did watch on the weekend. What was it called? I'm going to see if I can find the name of the movie. See if anyone else has seen it. Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Has anyone else seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil? I watched that on the weekend. Doo-doo. 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 Dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Right, I think I've actually put them all on around the right way, so there was much rejoicing. Yeah, I've basically felt like Tucker and Dale versus Evil could have been funnier, but I did enjoy it. There were more opportunities for laughs in that. There was some great laughs in it, don't get me wrong. I did have a good old chuckle, but I felt like there were a couple of opportunities they missed where they could have got more laughs. Hello, Garth. Actor from Firefly, Alan Tudyk, who's also in that TV series Resident Alien, and various other things as well. It's Tudyk. I've got no idea how the surname is pronounced. It's Tudyk or something like that. He's a funny guy. He is definitely a funny guy. He's got a very good sort of comedic ability, good timing. You are a funny guy. Will I make you laugh? Am I like a clown? Do I amuse you? Do I amuse you? All right. Let's try to test this out. Trailer Park Boys is funny too. Okay. Tudyk. Okay, fair enough. That would make sense. Tudyk. Or is it Tudyk? Tudyk? I read that as what you typed there as Tudyk, but it could be Tudyk. Let's test this out. Right, let me move this because all of this stuff that I've been working on here is actually sitting on top of my classic chassis. And so I can't test it while it's there. I will grab this little metal thing here, even though it doesn't belong with this computer. It is for this computer. So, it will be good to use this when we're testing. So it's just a little, I think it's probably just an RF shield to be honest, but it might do more. Oopsie. There we go. All right. He's all ready for testing now. Now, I'm going to have to, I guess, put some of these away. 1, 2, 3. I'm just proving to everyone I can count. 3, 4. Someone calling me from an unknown number. Guess what happens to those? They don't get answered. Never, ever. Ever, ever, ever. Ever. Maybe one day if I have a full-time secretary, they can start getting answered, but no. We're getting there. We're nearly there. I've nearly got access to the Classic. There we go. Now this is my analog board, which doesn't work. It goes pop. And I have to try and figure out why. This is the one that blows the fuse every time I use it. And we're happy with that, aren't we? God, what? Is that meant to have a component there? I'll have to check that. Don't think it is. Solder looks okay. Impressive. Okay. Sorry, I would really like to get this analog board working because it's mine. And eventually, all these analog boards that I have that belong to other people will go back home, and then if I need to test and I don't have an analog board working, well, world in crisis. You know what's happening. So let's just try this side view. There we go. That's my fat gut. Yeah, I don't want to get zapped by stuff. We used to have these great big CRTs back in the days when I used to work in a design studio. Great big 21-inch like radius monitors, massive things. I mean, they used to weigh a ton. I mean, you have to move one from a desk to a desk. It was an absolute nightmare. Now, one of the really interesting things with those is when you used to switch them off, they used to slowly discharge. And I believe they were basically discharge out of the ground of the mains power thing. But if you happen to unplug them a little bit too soon and you go to carry them and your finger happened to touch the little pins coming out the back where the plug would normally go in, you could get one hell of a zap out of those things, I'm telling you. Ouchie. All right, just going to move this for a moment. Plonk in here. Going to get the cute little box. Who on earth addressed that? Yeah. 27-inch Sony Trinitron. You must be younger than me. Because when I was the family TV back when I was living with the family was a big curvy thing at the front. Trinitrons are beautiful screens, lovely, beautiful, contrasty, sharp image. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I'm getting distracted really badly. Let's connect this up. Now the analog board, I do have a video on analog board removal from a Color Classic. And it's fairly straightforward, but there's just a lot of things that need to be plugged and unplugged, and you just need to make sure you don't miss any of them. So I'm just going to slot this in, connector goes in. If you do have a problem with an analog board, sorts of things you might be having troubles with are maybe colors, maybe not quite right. It can often be the connector connecting into the front because there's that little sliding connector and you may not be making proper contact in there. Sometimes with those computers you wiggle them around a little bit and then all of a sudden the screen comes good. So that's a fairly common problem with these. Going to connect up the microphone. No, it's not a webcam, it's a microphone. Going to connect up the yoke. And that's no yoke. There we go, it goes on. Can only go on one way, so it's nice and easy. And then we've got our anode cap, which is going to go on. There we go. And then we've got the, what do we call this thing? Joe did tell me once, but I can't remember what it's called. The thing that goes on the back. CRT thing? Neck board? I don't know. What do we want to call it? We'll call it Gregory. Okay. And then we've got to put the grounding strap. Very, very important to put this grounding strap on. Don't forget to do that. I mean that most sincerely. Then we also have a degaussing plug. Now, if you want more information about all of these things, you'll find them all listed one after the other in my Color Classic analog board removal video, which I think you'll probably find in my featured videos. And then, of course, we need to connect up the sound, because without the sound, we won't know if it's working. Oh, damn it. Where's the cable? I didn't follow it as it was going in. Is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. Cool. There we go. I don't have a hard drive connected to this, so we don't expect it to boot. But I do hope it powers on. Just needs it clean. Num, 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 num. Quicksilver Oz, I don't think I said hello to you, so hello. Do, 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 do. Just keeping an eye on the chat. Don't mind me. All right, now what have we got here? This looks like a Color Classic board. Do you reckon it works? Yes, it does. Actually, I might even work on this one afterwards because I spoke to the owner of this about whether he wanted to do something and he said yes. So I might do that right after this, assuming this works. This has none of the little ground thingies attached to it. None. How many? None. I've got some here. Pretty sure I have some. I'd like to connect at least one up. Oh, we'll try it without ground. See what happens. Might get no sound. But... Okay, Color Classic does have RAM and VRAM on board, so no need to put anything in there just for testing. We will need a keyboard because you need soft power to switch it on. And people who aren't aware sometimes get a little bit caught out if they get hold of one of these for cheap. And they go plug it in and they switch the power button on the back and does nothing. It makes a noise. It goes boom, like a degaussing sound. And they get that and then they don't get anything else. And they go, oh, this Color Classic's not working. Mine was bought like that. Person was saying the thing didn't work. And it was basically just they didn't have a keyboard to test it out. So you need the keyboard for the soft power. Now, switch that off. We'll switch this on. And I'm going to go... Oh, it's a nice degaussy sound there. Degauss all over your ass. Okay, we ready? 3, 2, 1. That's a new one. Squeaky noise. Squeaky noise getting higher. We don't like that. Yeah. Curious to know where the noise is coming from. Apple's Anonymous, hello there. Thank you for joining. We're just in the process at this particular moment of having a Color Classic not working. And I need to find out if it is the logic board or the analog board, and that's easy enough to sort out because I'll grab another logic board. Oh, that one looks a little bit scary. I do have one that works. That's an LC. Oh, God. If anyone's wondering what the noises are in the background there, figs falling off the fig tree. They fall down, they hit the roof. This one looks good. Okie dokie. Let's try this one, shall we? This one at least has one little ground pin on it. This one looks like it's been repaired by moi. Okay. Oops. And of course, if it doesn't work, I gotta pull it all out again. I'm gonna do things that I don't want to. Hang on, I just gotta do something very quickly here. Do that. Then I need to go and do that. And then I need to do that. Okay. Oops. Your Performer 250 looks dirty. It is. It is very dirty and it desperately needs a clean. And it will get one. Okay, so different logic board this time. No. Definitely a problem on the analog board. It's weird, I have never had this before. It's making a little squeaky sound. I don't know if you can hear it. I'll get my microphone here. Let's see if I can. Can you guys hear that? One, two, three, four, five. I'm going to, a little bit later on, afterwards, probably won't do this in this live stream, I've got a stethoscope, which I use for diagnosing stuff, because it allows me to move it around to where sound is coming from and hear the sound without having to stick my whole head in there. So I will probably do that, grab my stethoscope, see if I can work out where the sound is coming from. It sounds like it's coming from near the flyback, but even though I don't know if it is the flyback, I would not have thought that it would make that noise. But we're definitely trying to switch on. So the logic board is registering me pressing the power button, so that rules out a lot of things on the logic board. So we know the logic board's okay. Well, we know parts of the logic board are okay. And then it's trying to send that, wake up signal to the analog board. Almost mousy. It does sound quite mousy. Did the board work before? And that's a really good question. I didn't test it. Didn't test it before. Sometimes I do test before. In this instance I didn't, but I will actually ask the person. I'll ask the owner and say, excuse me, did it work before? Okay. Come on. Here we go. Do 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 do. Do do do. Oh, interesting. Quicksilver Oz, interesting comment about that app. It picks up high frequency noise. And I can hear it. I just need to find out where it's coming from. My hearing is actually still quite good. Everything else has stopped working, but my hearing's still pretty good. Of course, we have to be careful with this board now when we remove it, because some of these big Fiat capacitors will still have charge in them. And if you touch them, you'll get a nasty zap. It has happened to me many times before. It is most unpleasant, and I don't recommend it to anyone. Yeah. You can, of course, discharge them. Just get a big resistor or something like that, just run it across. So you can even just stick the end of a screwdriver in there, make contact between the two, and just go pop. But I generally don't like doing that. Red leader, hello there. By those parts you identify for me, but life has been doing what life does. Yes, I know life does that. So the sound seemed like it was coming from. Go back to top view now. Seemed like it was coming from around here. Somewhere around here. I know that this thing sometimes has problems. This little guy here. But rarely. The main thing I'm going to need to do now is I'm going to need to check that I stuck all the right caps in the right place. Because that is probably the biggest chance of something going wrong, is me making a mistake. Just going to have a look on the other side here. Because we do know that sometimes the heat from the Color Classic analog board can do some damage. Ooh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. I don't think it's necessarily the cause of the problem, but it surprises me. I don't have the microscope connected at the moment because of some technical issues, but I am going to zoom right in to see if we can actually see this with this camera. If we go up to here, see see there? It's like someone's had this component out and put it back in again. Interesting. Interesting. Might take it out, have a look. That's very curious. I'm going to have to look at this with a microscope. I know I won't be able to. The microscope will not be televised, but I just need to satisfy my own curiosity. Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know. I mean, is that something that's happened during manufacturing? Was that put in that way, or has someone had this component out? Shush. I don't know. I don't know, folks. I don't know. It really does look to me like someone has taken that component out. And if they have, what did they know? What did they know? What did they suspect? Shall we test it? Yeah, we'll test it. So I mentioned that the owner of one of these logic boards is happy for me to do something and I need to do it. And I'm going to just quickly explain what that is. I may not do it today because I just realised I've been going for over 2 hours and I'm freaking hungry. But this is a Color Classic board, right here. Oh, I knocked it over again. These Q-tips just don't want to stay in the container. I'm going to have to get a different container. That's just not working. That is not working for me. What is making them tip over? Oh, yeah. This is a Color Classic board, and this one looks a little different to some other Color Classic boards because it has a little battery connector here, no battery holder here, and a little diode just there. It's because this was a later Color Classic board which actually modified to work with the 4.5 volt Rayovac batteries. And those 4.5 volt Rayovac batteries are actually, I think, impossible to come by now. Yes, you can go in and you can make your own holder with 3 AAA batteries and wire it up that way. But the half AA batteries are still readily available. So I've just said, do you want me to just whip this off, stick a battery holder on there, take this diode off and just bring it back to working with a half AA battery? And he said, yep. So that's what I'm going to do. Right, let's see if we can get this component off. Might need a little bit of solder wick here. Wickety whack. Geez, I'll tell you what came on the TV yesterday. I've never seen it before. Didn't see the whole movie, just saw parts of it. A movie called Wild Wild West with some chap and some lady and another chap. And the question that kept coming into my mind as the film was on TV was, how did this movie get made? Stay. Okay, I'm going to take this out and stick it into my component tester and see what it does. Might do nothing. Might do something. Might do everything. Ugh. The director was very eccentric. Thought it was a regional difference. Well, I can tell you that in this particular region of the world, I've come across both. Probably 2, maybe 3 of the ones with the 4.5 volt battery, and all the rest have been half AA's. Oh, and of course the later ones, the 520 and the 550, they all have the 4.5 volt. Okay. Men in Black was better. Oh yeah, I don't think there's much doubt about that. I'm just going to need to twist these little pins around to make them fit into my component tester. It's a little twist. Just heard the sound of something come crashing down. I hope that's not something heavy falling on my wife. I know she's doing a bit of tidying while I'm doing this. So, all right. Okay, this is my little component tester. You can buy these as a kit. They're not expensive, and I mean that most sincerely. And I think everyone who's doing any of this sort of stuff should have one. And we're just going to switch it on, and it will just immediately start testing that component. And it is telling me that it is an NPN transistor. And it all seems to be testing. Now, of course, this doesn't necessarily tell you if there are problems when current starts running through it. Sometimes these things can fail when they start getting larger amounts of current. I do have some spare ones of these, but they're not the same. They're a little bit different, and I've never been able to get them to work properly. So it's MJF16206. Now, having said that, I've never looked on UT Source, but the ones that I've been able to get hold of, the back is exposed. It's ground. It's designed for sticking it onto something. And I haven't been able to adequately insulate them when I stick them on here. So anyhow, this is testing as in, you know, sort of probably be okay maybe. I just want to get some new heat paste stuff before I put it back. And of course the easiest thing to do is to just take one off a board that's working and swap it over to see for sure, but I am pretty sure it's okay. And I think what I'll probably have to do is just end this stream soon, because as I mentioned earlier, I have not had breakfast. It is now lunchtime and I'm extremely hungry. And I wanted to stream, and I did stream, and I have streamed. It hasn't been the most satisfying of streams because we didn't get to see anything go bing. And that's always very disappointing. Alrighty then. So pop that there. Whoops. The little piece of copper for one of these pins has just come off. It's it doesn't go anywhere. It's just used to hold the thing in, and it's just come off the board because it's not actually attached to anything. It's a little bit nasty. We can live without it though. Doesn't really serve a practical purpose. I'm going to just scrape away a little bit more of this trace. Seeing as the little thingy is damaged, the thing that it solders onto is damaged, I want to expose a little bit more copper so that I can go a little bit further with the solder. Make a more secure joint. There we go. Okay. Don't have my fume extractor on. Can I just get a blob here that might actually stop this from falling out? Come on. Blob. There we go. That's a big enough blob to stop it from falling out. Bug I found just the other day. Turns out it's a springtail. Now we know. Springe. Right, just going to have a quick look over here, see if I can see anything else untoward, something fallen off or damaged. A bit dirty there. I'll probably have to take this off as well and look under it. I'll be less likely to expect damage under that because it's protected. Looking good. Don't really see anything looks particularly bad here. How cool would it have been if the original Classic came out with an 040 in it? I know we all have mysticked them and all that sort of stuff, but just would have been cool if they originally made it for 040. Right, quick check to make sure that I have done everything correctly because I do make mistakes. I'm not proud of them. I'm not saying mistakes are good. I'm just saying that I do make them. Like, where the hell I put my recapping guide? I know I put it somewhere. That's for sure. Because I know when I was trying to make space. Oh, here we go. It's behind you. Let's turn it into pantomime. Right, so just going to quickly check, make sure that I've put caps in the right place. I didn't remove that many, so that one is going that way. That's cool. So we know that one's good because that one's fairly straightforward. 470 35. Yep. 220 35. Can I read you? 220 35. Yep. Am I even going to be able to read that one at that angle? Can't say it. Come on, man. I need light. 100 volt. Far out. I need a torch. You know, I think I have one in my Kaiweets KM 601 digital multimeter. There we go. Got me some illumination. Still can't see it. Well, that one I can't check then. Do 5600, 5600. $470.25. Can't read that one. That'll be 1010 hopefully. This is impossible. This is impossible, I tells you. I can't see. My eyes aren't good enough. 1000. Oh my goodness, I love microscopes. Good. 5010. Yep. Mm-mm. 100, 100. Yep. 1035. Yep. All right. I'm going to plug it in one more time. I've done nothing, so if it works, it's just what we refer to as a wizard repair. But I'm going to just plug it in. We'll just try it one more time. If it doesn't work, I'm going to end the stream. Bang. Just like that. Then I will go into full-on diagnostics mode. But I really don't like doing that in the live streams because I have to concentrate. And the moment I have to concentrate, the mouth has to stop working. And then I don't read the chat, and then everything just gets boring, and no one wants to watch it because I'm just boring. So I always try and keep the live streams down to the doing rather than the thinking. Whoops. Oh, Adam. Good night, Adam. See ya. Thanks for joining. I don't think you're going to miss anything, because right now I expect exactly the same result as before. Oh, fudgesicle. There we go. Oh, you. There we go. Okay, connecting this up. Just got to connect all these plugs up again. Doesn't take me long, because I've done it many times before. Anyone else here had a wizard repair before, where they basically had something that didn't work? So they opened it up, had a look, couldn't see anything, connected it up again, suddenly starts working. That audio. Ding, 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 ding. All right. Try again. We need keyboard cable, we need power cable, and then that's all we need. Meh. Meh. There we go. All right. Okay. Digos. Boing. And then I'm going to listen out for the squeaky sound again. Yep, there it is. Just did it 2 times that time. Press it again. Did it 1. 2 times. 1. So, yeah, anyhow, more diagnostics need to be done to this one. What a pain. That's what I hate the most. Hate that. Hate that. As usual, if I get it sorted in the not too distant future, I will do a post on my Facebook. If you haven't joined my Facebook, followed my Facebook, please do that. Brankus Creations on Facebook. There's probably a link somewhere. Yes, because I generally do posts of things. Because so many times, it happens like with alarming regularity that I stop streaming and then I start fiddling with something and then I find it and then it's repaired and it's like, yeah, okay. Soldier balls. Okay. Alrighty, so I'm just going to quickly have a look at the chat here, make sure I haven't missed anything. Oh, thank you very much for that, Jay. Jay just put in the links to Recap a Mac. Might need to check your mice and yes, I know. I'll need to. I might put some traps in there. We'll just see how we go. I am going to go and grab my stethoscope so that I can find out exactly where that squeak is coming from. It doesn't necessarily mean that's where the problem is, but it's perhaps a reasonable starting point. I am going to go in and check every single cap that I put in there and make sure I did put the right cap in there, because that's obviously the first thing you need to do whenever you have problems. I've got a video on this coming out fairly soon, and that is what to do when a recap doesn't work. And I've basically got in that all of the steps that I follow when I have a recap that doesn't work. There's a whole series of things that I go through one at a time. It's aimed mainly at logic boards, but some of the stuff is certainly applicable to analog boards as well. Okra. I'm not a big fan of okra. It's a bit snotty for me, but yeah. So, can you get, I mean, yes, I can get okra locally. We have a fairly large African population here, and they're pretty big on okra. So there's a African grocer just in the, this is the general area is referred to as Blacktown. That is where I live. I'm in a separate suburb, but I'm part of the larger Blacktown municipality, and we have, yes, quite a large, mainly Sudanese population here. And yeah, as I say, there are African groceries here, and I have seen okra for sale at them. So there. But yeah, I've never cooked with it, so I know that there's a bit of a trick with it so that it doesn't go all slimy, and I don't know what the tricks are. So just checking the chat here. Ryan Joffrey, thank you very much for that. I do appreciate that. Okay, just checking. Oh yes, okay, asking who's streaming next. I think it's Joe's turn again. Seeing as he streamed for the beginning part of the day, I think he needs to come back and do it again, otherwise he'll get out of practice. Osprey Sol, thank you very much for that. Soldering newbie, and I really appreciate your tutorials. Well, you are most welcome. As I've said, there is another one that is just taking me forever to get out, but I'm doing one on surface mount soldering. I've recorded quite a bit of stuff to it. I need to edit it, I need to do an intro, and I need to make sure I'm covering everything, because the thing is that when it comes to surface mount soldering, it does vary based on the components. Lots of different types of component out there. And so it's not just a matter of saying do this. It's like, okay, this is how I would put a resistor on, this is how I put a diode on, this is how I put a voltage regulator on, this is how I put like a QFN on, or what are those other ones, or a PLCC. I have particular ways for different components that I follow, and I want to make sure I cover as many of those as possible to sort of help people out. Encouraging me to buy an iron and try fixing my stuff. Do it! Links in the description to expensive stuff, links in the description to cheap stuff. So if you're wanting to get started, obviously I recommend go with the cheap stuff, because you find out if you enjoy it, find out if you're successful with it. and then just go from there. You know, you don't have to break the bank to get started with this. This coming weekend, I'm probably going to do some sort of video or stream or something, I'm not sure, on Saturday. Now, it's during the day. It's about 11 a.m. my time, so, well, you can figure out now that it's 1:30 now, so probably a couple of hours before this, maybe, 2 hours earlier than it is right now. I am going to the Australian Computer Museum Society. Check it out if you're not aware of it. And they are, there's a guy there, Murray. Hello, Murray. He is putting on a bit of an event there. He normally has an event at his house and just invites people, and we just do a bunch of tech stuff. And he said he's having this event at the Australian Computer Museum Society this time. Asked if I wanted to come along, and I said, yeah. Do you want me to recap stuff while I'm there? He said, yeah. So I'm taking my soldering iron, my hot air station, a few bits and bobs, a few caps. I'm going to probably recap a few logic boards while I'm there. And if I won't necessarily be able to stream like this, but I may be able to record some stuff and then show it afterwards. But yeah, just going to do that. I don't know what the turnout's going to be like. I could be just recapping for myself, but that's next weekend. So that's my Saturday. So it'll be Friday night in the US. Yeah, so it could be, it could be interesting. I hope it's going to be interesting. And while I'm there, I might be able to actually film some of the incredibly awesome stuff they have there. They got, some of these great big old Osborne mainframes and stuff like that. Was it Osborne? I don't know. Maybe IBM mainframes and on the Osborne portable computers, stuff like that. Anyhow, they've got big things there, great big things, things with the tape that spins around on the front that everyone's obsessed with. Whenever you watch movies that show computers, like in the 1950s and 60s and stuff, they always had the big tape thing spinning around. Yeah. Just checking. And right, okay. Well, I think we're all good to go. So I am going to sign off now. I want to thank everyone who watched. My apologies, we didn't get this Color Classic analog board firing up, but we'll get there. Color Classics need to be fixed. That's what they're there for. And we'll get that sorted, hopefully, and then I'll just keep everyone up to date with the progress that I make on that. And yes, thanks again for watching. Sorry it's been such a long time since my last stream. I'll try and make it a little bit more regular. Enjoy the rest of the evening, morning, whatever, afternoon, wherever it happens to be in your part of the world. And I hope to see you at the next one. So goodbye.